Here's what you need to plan for if you want to enjoy gardening when you know that your season is going to have a lot of interruptions for medical procedures, for travel, for whatever. You want to grow plants that are going to tolerate neglect. Established perennials are really good for that, and annual bedding plants can be as long as they're getting enough water. Remember that their roots haven't had very much time to grow if they're an annual plant, so they can only get whatever water is in those first inches of soil. You might not have the best luck with fruiting plants, and since this is a botanical conversation, fruit here includes things like tomatoes, peppers, so on. They need a lot of sun, they need a lot of water to make those fruits, they need successful pollination, they might need pruning to get the right amount of sun and air on all the different parts of the plant. So you want things that are more hands-off. Some of the more hands-off fruits are things like maybe squash, berries. Berries can be vulnerable to drought, and you're definitely going to be competing with birds if they do make berries, but most of those are perennials and they will at least survive neglect, even if they don't make a great crop of berries that year. If you do have your heart set on growing food, think about things with lower needs. That's going to be vegetables where we eat the stalks or the leaves or the roots. Those take less energy to grow, and you're competing with fewer critters for them. If you're starting a new garden bed, lean into polycultures. That means mixing a lot of plants together so that some have big roots, some have leaves that grow across the surface of the ground, some grow tall on stalks. They're all using different space and working well together. We can talk about specific examples of polycultures in another video, but the idea is that you're growing plants in a more naturalistic way so that they work together to, shelter each other from wind. They're completely blocking the soil so that wind and sun can't get at it and evaporate water from it. The mix of different smells will confuse pests so they can't zero in on their favorite targets. And if you've chosen your plants well, they won't be competing with each other for the same nutrients too much. This got really long, but the next video in the playlist is the section I had to cut off talking about managing drought while you're away. Most of all, go into this season with a spirit of curiosity rather than a drive for perfection. If you start to feel discouraged that you're not going to have the same kind of bounty as other gardeners will, remember that you are cultivating knowledge about what plants can survive and thrive without your constant intervention. And that knowledge is a harvest that is going to serve you for the rest of your life. Next up, I'm going to talk about what to plan for if you want to enjoy gardening with low energy. If you'd like me to talk about an issue that affects you, go ahead and leave your request in the comments.